All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know what names you can drop and legitimately tell me that you've met in the world of famous people, right? Mm-hmm. But you're never going to outdo our next guest. This guy is legendary. Oh my gosh, I was reading his bio. He's unbelievable. John Barbour is our guest. He is recognized as the godfather of reality TV, but that doesn't even begin to tell you his story. Oh my gosh. He's got a book. It's called Your Mother's Not a Virgin. Funny title, huh? The Bumpy Life and Times of the Canadian Dropout Who Changed the Face of American TV. Can I just brag about him a little bit before we put him on the air?
Yes.
Let's see. He dropped out of high school at 15. He was deported from Canada at 17. Got to find out about that. He's recognized as the godfather of reality TV. He's been on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Is that right? Or the other one? The Dean Martin Show. He was on. He did a show called AM LA, which before we had AM Ocala Live. Now I know where we got our name from. He interviewed controversial anti-war guests like Muhammad Ali, Cesar Chavez, Jane Fonda, and he's one of the most quoted critics. I guess that would be film critics, TV critics, right? Mm-hmm. John Barbour, what an honor to have you on our show. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Well, Larry, thank you very much. I wish I didn't have to come on right now. I'd like to just sit here and listen to you talk about it. It's just terrific. First of all, I wasn't deported from Canada. I was deported to Canada twice. Once when I was 17 and once when I was 28 years of age. And so there you go.
I wondered about that.
Well, if you wish to chat about that, anything you wish to talk about, first of all, I will take bows for being the godfather of reality television, for creating one of the first reality show in television, a monster hit, the highest rated show in the history of television. It was called Real People, and the hosts were myself and Sarah Purcell and Skip Stevenson, and I was dubbed that by the very best critic in television at the time. His name was Gary Deeb. He was syndicated in the Chicago Tribune, and he had the greatest line about television ever. He said, Larry, he said that television is the only business in America where competition does not improve the product, which is so true. And
that's funny.
And it's worse today. When I started in television, there were 3 networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS. Now we have 500 different channels, and you know that you and your friends use your little remote and you surf, and you complain about nothing being on television anymore.
That's right.
So what we have now, we have more straws in the same septic tank. But I will not take any kudos for being the godfather of reality TV now, because, Larry, when I got into television, you had to have a modicum of talent, you had to have a modicum of intelligence,
that's right,
and a modicum of personality. Now, they are detriments, because all you need now to get into reality television is an absence of shame.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so true. Yeah. So where are you in Vegas? Robin said you're in Vegas, right?
Yes, I've lived here. I moved here in 1992, just after my documentary, the Garrison tapes, the first one I did on Jim Garrison, won the San Sebastian Film Festival Award. And I thought I was going to retire, but I didn't end up retiring. I ended up working a lot harder. And part 2 of the Garrison tapes is a monster hit on Amazon. It's called The American Media and the Second Assassination of President John F. Kennedy. And, you know, all the wonderful things that have happened to me, Larry and Robin can attest to it since she's read the book, all happened by accident. And all the disasters in my life were those things that were really well planned.
Well, one of the events, though, was Lenny, and that couldn't have been planned.
Lenny, how do you mean Lenny, Angel?
The death of Lenny.
Oh, Lenny Bruce?
Yeah.
Oh, how interesting that you mentioned that. You know, the wonderful thing about the book, to me, is that it has no chapters. Have you guys ever heard of a screenwriter by the name of Ben Hecht?
No, I don't know.
Well, Ben Hecht was the highest paid screenwriter in American history. He started the gangster movies with Scarface, and he wrote Gone with the Wind in 12 days, Larry, and never read the book. Selznick had shut down the production for 2 reasons, and one of the reasons was that the first director was a guy who had dated Clark Gable before Clark Gable became a star, and now that Clark was a star, he didn't want to be reminded that he went out with this guy, and also that Selznick didn't like what was happening with the film. So he called Ben Hecht in to rewrite the script. Ben had never read Margaret's book, and he said, "Do you guys have a synopsis?" And Selznick said, "Yeah, we have a 30-page synopsis," and that's what he read to write it. And Ben Hecht ran away from, he didn't know he was Jewish until the Second World War started. he ended up like me. He ran away from home at 16 to join the circus, and the circus he joined happened to be the newspaper business in Chicago, became a successful columnist, went to New York, wrote the front page with Charles MacArthur, and became the first propagandist for the non-existent state of Israel. And his book is assembled like a series of newspaper columns. And it was by far the best book ever written about anybody in show business until mine came along, thanks to Robin. So, in any event, I designed the book in the same way. Now, while it's a great Canadian rags to American riches story, it starts off like David Copperfield or Angela Zafs's and ends up like Neil Simon. It's just a wonderful, and you can pick it out anywhere. Now, Robin mentioned Lenny Bruce. There is, let's say you're interested in Lenny Bruce, obviously, as Robin is. You can open it up to the 5 pages that say Remembering Lenny Bruce. You will read a really moving, funny, and interesting story about the last days of Lenny Bruce before he was murdered by the LA Police Department.
Really?
And then also, I was the first host of The Gong Show. And if you're interested in The Gong Show and its origins and what happened and Chuck Barris and all the rest of it, you can open it up there and have a phenomenal read.
Oh,
but
nice.
if you want to have a really fantastic read, start at page 1 and go through to the last page. And I must tell you, it is by far the best book ever written about anybody in show business. If you're interested in show business, Sinatra and Bob Hope and Muhammad Ali and Cesar Chavez, you will find stories in there that you will find no place else. I was Sinatra's private writer for 4 years, and on his deathbed, Jim Garrison, who was the DA of New Orleans. Did you see the movie JFK?
No, I have not.
No, I don't
seen
think
that
I
one.
saw that one. No.
Well, JFK, if I were to ask you, what are some, when I started to make part 2 of the Garrison tapes, I called my friends in LA who were producers and directors and asked them, what was the most important movie ever made in America? If I asked both of you that question, what would you say?
Most important movie.
Important movie.
Important in what way? As far as changing society, you mean?
Yes, because an important movie is something improves in society.
Oh my God!
Now the reason that we have food that we can eat in a can is because once upon a time in America, books had a profound impact. Upton St. Clair wrote a book about the meatpacking industry called The Jungle. Now we have healthy food. The reason that we have interest in the environment, because in the 50s, Rachel Carlson wrote a great book called Silent Spring. The Americans don't read anymore, so they depend now on television or on movies to do something. The most important movie ever made, my friends told me, was The Godfather or Gone with the Wind or Network. But that's not true. It was JFK, because it brought to the attention of the American public the fact that we were lied to by the Warren Commission, and it resulted in the passage of the JFK Records Assassination Act, which improved society by informing society about the fact that Jim Garrison was right when he said on The Tonight Show, the Central Intelligence Agency murdered our president. And again, I only met Jim Garrison right by accident.
All right, let me ask you something about that, because this is a topic that comes up a lot regarding late night shows that some view as being too political today versus what the late night shows used to be in the era that you just referred to. But I do remember that even Johnny Carson would once in a while have a guest like Garrison who would give us some political opinions in the context of what should be a comedy show, and it's happening today. What are your thoughts about the late night shows of today?
I can't watch them. There's nobody worth watching in television. You know, when I got into television because I was a huge fan of Jack Parr. Now, you're probably not old enough to remember who Jack Parr was.
No, I am. I do remember him,
Yeah, I remember him.
Well, he was by far the greatest late-night talk show. First, because he had conversations. He had William F. Buckley on the show, a conservative. He had Gore Vidal on the show, a radical liberal. He created the careers of Jonathan Winters and Phyllis Diller and Nichols and May and the Smothers Brothers. Totally brilliant. Johnny Carson would never do that. And the reason I got interested in it, because I did not know that people talk to one another. I thought you either punched one another or you yelled at one another. I mean, I was on the streets when I was 6 years of age, and I was arrested numerous times in Canada. As I said, I was deported twice from the United States. I came to America at 17 to be a professional gambler. That's why I came here.
Wow.
In 1939, when I was 6, I came from a severely dysfunctional home long before it was popular. And in 1939, when I was 6, my father went to the peace and quiet of World War II, and uncles in my house were like grapes all of a sudden. They came in bunches. And so when I was not at a rink, because I was a hockey junkie, I was in a library reading books and reading stories and listening to them on the CBC. Lorne Greene, who eventually came to America to become Ben Cartwright in the Bonanza.
Right.
These storytellers kept me alive, and now that I'm older, it's my telling the story.
That's right. Let me give you
about Jack Parr is that Jack Parr opened his show like Carson doing a monologue.
Right.
And Larry, I never thought anything was impossible. If you're alive, you can do anything. So I became a stand-up comic so I could end up being a talk show.
Wow.
And my other idol in American television was Edward R. Murrow. By far the greatest newsman in the history of television. He single-handedly shut down the blacklisting of talented people in this country by taking on Senator McCarthy. And he did it alone, without the help of Dwight Eisenhower or anybody. And also, he was the one that exposed. There was a great documentary called Harvest of Shame, in which he exposed the maltreatment of Mexican immigrants in farms owned by Coca-Cola. And Coca-Cola told CBS, if he does that again, we're withdrawing our advertising. From that point on, he was out of the business as a journalist. They stuck a cigarette in his mouth, gave a show with celebrities called Person to Person, and that was the end of journalism in America.
So what you're saying? So what you're saying is that we've mistreated the refugees for a lot longer than just the last 3 years.
Oh, yes. It was in the 50s. It began in the 50s. And when John Kennedy was killed, a company could only own 5 television or 5 radio stations or 5 newspapers in this country. And there was such a thing as a fairness doctrine. Well, when Jim Garrison arrested Clay Shaw for conspiring to murder John Kennedy and for handling Lee Harsby Oswald in New Orleans, he was the DA in New Orleans, and that's why he began investigating, because he accidentally ran into a fella who was a congressman named Hale Boggs, the only dissenting member of the Warren Commission, who did not believe the Warren Commission. And he went before Congress and he said, we must fire J. Edgar Hoover. We must have a new investigation. And guess what? He is driven to the airport to his private plane, gets on the plane, it crashes and disappears in Alaska.
Wow.
And guess who drives him to the airport? Bill Clinton.
Oh, wow.
And Bill Clinton became the worst president in American history by signing NAFTA,
John,
which sent our jobs overseas. He repealed Glass-Steagall, which allowed the recession of 2008 to take my $1 million home and thousands of other homes from Americans without anybody going to prison. But worst of all, he signed the Communications Act in 1996, which turned 95% of all American media over to 6 corporations. And what happened with Jim Garrison, there was such a thing as a fairness doctrine. When I had Ronald Reagan on my show in 1970 running for governor, I then had to have a Democrat, then I had to have a socialist. Well, when Jim Garrison arrested Clay Shaw, Walter Sheridan from NBC was assigned by the CIA to sabotage his case. And they tried to get his chief witness, Perry Raymond Russo, to leave his jurisdiction. They got him a $50,000 a year job at an insurance company in Los Angeles, and Perry Raymond Russo was wired by Garrison.
Wow.
So he brought criminal charges against NBC, and they had to give him equal time.
John.
And when he went on the air, Larry, and said the CIA murdered our president, the owners of the country said, hold it, we can't have that kind of truth-telling in this country, and they rescinded the community at the fairness doctrine.
John,
so you can swear if you want in America, and you have no recourse to the media.
Okay.
And if President Trump truly wants to make America great again, he can take his pen and reverse the Communications Act. And you recall AT&T was disbanded in the 60s.
Right.
And we now have a number of successful telephone companies. They should, all of these companies that own the media now are monopolies. John, and they should be disbanded.
John, I have a question for you. Based on everything you've just said, you brought to my mind a question I've always had, because you have just done a really good job of showing us how politics and show business definitely were bedfellows, as they like to say. And I have a question about the assassination of JFK and the role or non-role, or maybe I'm throwing you a curveball, I don't know, of Dorothy Kilgallen. What was there? Is there anything that comes to mind when I say her name with the assassination of Kennedy?
Oh, it's an absolutely brilliant question because, the House Select Committee on Assassinations was, again, it was created because, first of all, in 1963, Dan Rather lied to us when he said the gunshot to the head of President Kennedy sends his head forward. Well, we believed him, and we believed Uncle Walter Cronkite, okay, because they never showed us the film. It wasn't shown until 1975 when Geraldo Rivera showed it late at night with Dick Gregory. There was such a furor, they created the House Select Committee on Assassinations, and the report, they assigned a guy named Richard Sprague to head it up, and he said, we're going to solve this crime because we're not going to hire CIA or FBI. And, of course, he was sabotaged. They turned it over to a guy by the name of G. Robert Blakey, a CIA hack, who blamed the Italians and the Mafia for this. Now, if the Mafia and the Italians killed the president, there wouldn't be a pizza parlor in America. So what happened during those investigations, they discovered that 78 people were murdered who were supposed to be called by the House Select Committee. And Dorothy Kilgallen, who was almost as popular as President John F. Kennedy, was a great crime reporter. She got the first and only interview with Jack Ruby. Jack Ruby begged to go to Washington so he could testify under oath and under federal protection. And Gerald Ford and Earl Warren turned them down, but Dorothy Kilgallen got an interview, and she assembled a book in which she said would blow this case wide open.
Right.
And she never let that book out of her sight. It was with her aide, and into her life came a guy named Ron Pataki, a handsome young man, and a few weeks later she is found dead in her apartment. The book is missing, and her aide is found dead, and the book is missing. So that was an absolutely brilliant question.
Oh my gosh, what an honor to have you on our show, John. The book is outstanding. I didn't even get 1/10 of the way through it, but I knew this was going to be a great interview. John, thank you for taking some time to be with us today. Thank you for being a great guest. We have so many more questions, but we don't have any more time. The book is available on Amazon. Do you have a website you want to recommend?
I would suggest you go to my site. It's www.johnbarbersworld.com. You can see the first Garrison tapes there for nothing. I am now releasing Garrison's files to give Garrison his day in court with the American people. There's a link to the book, and there's also a link to part 2 of the Garrison tapes, The American Media and the Second Assassination of President John F. Kennedy.
Wow.
And I want to thank Robin and you, Larry, for caring so much about your country and its history.
Thank you, John. What a great interview. Thank you so much. We will be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Lillian Wu.
I am a young, vibrant man.
President Trump this morning at Andrews Air Force Base referring to the age of some of his Democratic opponents in the race for the White House, also applauding the latest first quarter GDP numbers, 3.2%.
Well, it's a blowout number. I'll just say Trump policies to rebuild the economy, Lower taxes, regulation.
White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow on Fox News. Democratic critics have said economic gains are mostly helping the upper class. And hundreds of migrants breaking free from a detention center in Mexico.
This is a sign that Mexico may be having trouble controlling that mother of all caravans. Now, more than 1,300 migrants, mostly Cubans, escaping on foot from the largest shelter in the southern city of Tapachula, where officials have been trying to slow the caravan's advancement.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. This is Fox News.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents. When generic insurance takes hold, one handsome man and one flightless bird are teaming up to save the world. Money. Their message? Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Their mission? Savings. Their relationship? Best friends. Say hello to Liberty Mutual's new spokes team. And Doug.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer. State laws apply.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need.
Won't you stop your crying? I know that you're trying. Everything's gonna be